Hey, and welcome back to the Empower Her Business Accelerator podcast, the place where ambitious women get the strategy, encouragement, and resources they need to build businesses of their dreams with confidence and clarity. I'm your host, Philippa Chandler, and today's guest is someone whose work perfectly blends empowerment, artistry, and savvy business strategy. So I'm thrilled to welcome Liz Hansen. She's the owner and photographer of Chicago Boudoir Photography. This is the premier boudoir studio in the Chicago area. Liz isn't just a talented photographer. She's a bold businesswoman who's built a thriving studio by combining confidence-boosting photography with a very powerful community building and smart marketing systems. She's been featured on TEDx, NPR, and more. And today she's sharing her unique approach to creating connection and converting leads without the sleazy sales tactic. Whether you're building your brand from your living room or leading a growing team, this episode will inspire you to think differently about how you build your community and automate your communication, all while staying true to your mission. So let's dive in. All right, good morning, everybody. So excited. So please, I did a quick introduction, but I probably didn't do you justice. So please introduce yourself officially, let everybody know who you are and the value you bring.
Well, thank you so much for having me here today. It's great to be here. My name is Liz Hansen, and
Yay.
I run the Chicago Boudoir Photography Studio here in the suburbs of Chicago.
Awesome. What was in the inspiration to get you started behind just building this studio and what drew you to that specific niche?
So, if you haven't heard of boudoir, boudoir is just a fancy French word that means a woman's bedroom. But for me, it means taking sensual, sexy photos of women that they can use to feel empowered or to give a gift. And I started out as a family and wedding photographer. I took pictures of babies, events, families outside, things like that. And then I had the opportunity to work at a studio where they did some boudoir. And I'd never heard of boudoir, I wasn't familiar with it. I walked into this first shoot and I was like, wait, we're really going to take pictures of this woman in her underwear? Like, what is this all about? And after that first photo shoot, I saw that woman. She came out of the dressing room and she looked like she was on cloud nine. She was just absolutely glowing. And she told me how this experience of doing a photo shoot changed her and helped her feel more empowered. And I was like,
Mm,
wow, that was really meaningful for her. So, over the course of a few years working at that studio, I saw the power that boudoir could have for women.
okay.
It's not just a photo shoot, it's this opportunity to kind of unlock something in
Mm,
women to help them feel something. And so I knew that this was something I wanted to pursue. And so in 2018, I was able to open up my own boudoir studio and really focus on this and provide that empowering, confidence building experience that I wanted to give to women.
that is so interesting. I have not had the experience of doing it myself. So I'm wondering, like, how do you get somebody into that state of saying, like, okay, this is something I actually need and I want? Like, how do you market it to attract somebody who hasn't even thought about doing it, period?
Yeah, so marketing a boudoir photo shoot is sort of an interesting thing for a couple of reasons. Number one, I can't use a lot of the pictures that I take for marketing because they are just too
Yes.
sexy for the internet, right? I get shut down by Facebook and by Instagram all the time.
Yeah.
Also, I can't just go on a LinkedIn or go to a networking event and just open with, "Hi, do you wanna take nude photos?" Right? Like, it's too much, too fast, all at once, right? So I have a multi-tiered marketing system that I've developed over my years of doing this, where I really try to tap into women's spaces, places where women are hanging out, and get them to think about what do you need right now? And could boudoir be part of that? So, do you want to feel something? Do you want to experience something and not just buy something, right? Like a lot of people are searching for an experience, not just a purchase, right? Do you have a birthday coming up that you want to celebrate in a really interesting new way? Do you have a 10th anniversary that you have a partner who has everything and you could really give a unique gift? Have you been through a divorce and you are wanting to recapture a feeling of freedom?
Mhm.
Are you on a fitness journey, right? Is your body changing? Are you pregnant? Do you want to celebrate that baby bump, right? So my pitch is not, "Hi, come take photos." My pitch is, Hi, do you want to experience something? Do you want to do something new and unique that you've never done? I have something that might interest you.
Okay, I like that, I like that, and I can imagine too, working with other businesses who are maybe putting together an event. So let's say, for instance, there's already a women's empowerment event, like partnering with them to meet the women and kind of introduce the concept to them that way as well. That kinda gets you into the door and get the conversation started.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love to put little vouchers and gift bags at events like that. I love to show up at events and introduce myself. Like, one of the things about Boudoir is to really help women feel like the experience will be safe. And I am a pretty safe looking person, right? So if you meet me in person, it's much more convincing than just if I'm just on the internet. So in person networking is really effective for me and my business because I can show up, talk about what I do and what I offer, and get to know women one on one in a personal way
Yeah,
so that maybe they think that woman was nice. I liked her. I didn't think about it before, but after meeting her, maybe I could do a boudoir photo shoot. So one on one networking is really good. I have to make sure I'm in the right spaces, right? I was recently at a Chamber of Commerce mixer and it wasn't quite the right place for me.
yeah.
I had a couple of people full on say to me, I don't want to talk to you about this. Because
Aw,
boudoir is still a little bit taboo, right? Like
yeah,
taking nude photos, taking sensual photos, even though I present like a really classy type of styling and event, like even though I'm 100% female staff, I work in a commercial space. This is not in some basement. Boudoir is still really taboo. So I
yeah.
do have to be careful how I approach people and what I do and what my messaging is. I find my in-person networking is most effective at female-only events. So women empowerment events, women in business events. That's where I do better than just some random networking happy hour.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. I was gonna say the same thing, like, some chambers have small groups in them, like, at my chamber, I oversee a women's direct connect group, and that would make more sense for you to be in that space, but yeah, I could see how it could be a little uncomfortable with a bunch of guys around, and now I know
Yeah. I
when I
mean, I'm happy to talk to anyone about boudoir, and it's not that a chamber event is bad, and I still go to things like that. I just have to be careful about how I present my message.
Yes. Yeah, and that makes complete sense, and I think all of us should take a note of that as well, even if we have completely safe, working, stuff, it's still you have to be mindful of the environment you're in and how you approach your sales aspect and how you put yourself. Yeah. And I know you mentioned when we first met that you are great with Facebook communities and getting people there and using those to, not just sell but build communities. So I would love to hear about your Facebook experience and how you've used that to help elevate your business and impact your business growth. Yeah.
Right when I opened my business, I decided to open a Facebook group um, as a community to meet women in my area and, of course, to sell my product.
Yeah.
And when I first built this Facebook group, it's called the VIP Group for Empowered Women of Chicago. When I first built it, I was a little skeptical that it would help my business, that it would draw clients into my studio. But I had heard of other photographers being successful building communities, and I was willing to give it a try.
Yeah.
So I established a Facebook group. It's free to create a Facebook group. You can just open one. And, it started really slow, just a few women here and there. I put the link to my Facebook group in my email signature. I encouraged people who came into the studio and had photos taken to join the group after their photo shoot. And I just started slowly acquiring a few members here and there. The first few months were definitely very slow. I remember thinking, like, why am I trying to run this group? Like, I'm showing up, I'm posting, and it's literally going nowhere. And you know how it can be with the Facebook algorithm. You can post stuff and no one will see it.
Yeah.
And so those first few months felt like it was not worth my time, that I was wasting my time building this group. But over the years, as I have put time and effort into growing the membership and making the content and the way that I show up in the group more meaningful, this group has proved to be really, really valuable for my business. So much so, in fact, that I get about 50% of my business straight from this Facebook group. So
Nice.
it has turned into an engine for my business and also just a really fun place for me to hang out. It's a community that I enjoy. I love being there. And I've met a lot of the people from the Facebook group in real life too, which has been really fun for me.
That is so awesome. Like I've heard some good and bad stories about Facebook. So it's good to hear a good story that it and it I like your story in the sense that it's so authentic. Like it wasn't like, oh, I created a Facebook group and they were just there and it was magical. Like, no, it took time to build that community. So I know you mentioned about growth and improvement on how you showed up. So like what's some advice you could give that you've learned about engagement, because that's one of the hardest things when you're building an online community, especially with people who don't know you yet. They may not have met you in person. How do we go about engaging them in an authentic way?
Okay, so there's a lot that goes into building an effective Facebook group. The first thing I will say is that Facebook might be right for your business, it might not be.
Mhm.
Facebook works really well for my business. One of the reasons is because my target audience is women aged 35 to 55. And guess what? Women aged 35 to 55, they're on Facebook,
Yeah.
right? My kids who are 15 and 17, they're not on Facebook, and I don't know that they'll ever get on Facebook, right? So if your demographic is not on Facebook, this might not be the right place for you. But my demographic is, right? So I'm in the suburbs of Chicago. The women who come into my studio for a boudoir photo shoot tend to be women who are have had a little bit of life experience, right? Like they're not just 21, they're not just right out of college, right? There's something about their journey, something that they've experienced, something that they've been through that makes them want to have a boudoir photo shoot. So for me, I'm meeting my target audience where they're at, which happens to be on Facebook. So if you are thinking about building a community, you want to think about where your people are, right? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Reddit? Um, so for me, Facebook has worked really well. What you have to know if you're going to build a community on one of these platforms is you have to know how that platform works and what creates engagement on that platform. So there are things that work on Facebook that don't work on Instagram. There are things that work on Facebook that would not work on a Discord server or a Reddit forum. Okay. So the
Yeah.
first thing I would say about engagement is to really understand the platform that you are on. So if you're not on that platform, you need to be on that platform and hang out there a little bit and see what is working, what is getting traction, right? So I'm on Facebook myself. I get on there every day. I know what's kind of on Facebook. I know what's working, and that helps me apply that to my group. So my first recommendation is get on that platform, learn about it, spend some time. There's nothing like just dinking around on the platform for a while to figure out what it is and what it does.
Yeah.
Um, Next, I show up really authentically. I am just myself. Now, some people love me, some people hate me, but that's not hate's a strong word, but
Yeah.
with marketing, when you are authentic, you will attract some people and you will repel some people.
Yeah.
There are some people who my authentic personality, my brand, my pictures, it repels them, and that's okay because I am just one photographer and I have my style and my personality, and when it resonates with people, great, they'll come in and book me. The people who don't, that's okay. So being authentic, being yourself, showing up really as you, it's okay if that repels some people. That was a hard lesson for me to learn at first. You want everyone to like you. You want everyone to book with you. You want to be universally admired, right? But that's just impossible. So find your voice and who you are and show up who you are for real. And it's going to be a-okay if that repels some people. So the
Yeah.
next thing that I do in my group is I don't just sell, right? A group where I just wake up every day and post, book a boudoir photo shoot, book a boudoir photo shoot. Hey, 50% off a boudoir photo shoot. It's
Yeah.
not going to be interesting enough for people to stay in the group. Like they're going to come in, see that it's just an ad basically, and leave or not engage. So what I have tried really hard to do, and I think for the most part successfully done, is to create a community and an engagement and a conversation 90% of the time. And then 10% of the time I show up and have some kind of overt call to action to book a photo shoot with me. So
Okay.
90% of my group is talking about women's empowerment, talking about stuff that's going in Chicago, asking engaging questions of the group that gets them thinking and engaged and interacting with each other. And then 1 out of 10 times I show up and say, hey, I've got a deal for you. It's Black Friday boudoir photo shoot, book now. And that kind of balance convinces people to encourages people to stay in the group. It's a place they want to be. They want to hang out. When it shows up in their feed, they want to engage. And then when the ad comes, sometimes they engage with that as well.
Okay, okay. Now, I know we mentioned a few things here. So one of the things that I've usually coached on, which I could be wrong, things might change in the way that people buy and sell and engage. But one of the things I've been encouraging people is to limit your call to actions when you meet somebody. So that way it's not too confusing and you just give them one way to get into your system. So is it safe to assume when you meet and engage with somebody, do you immediately send them to the Facebook group? Or does that group just kind of grow organically and you respond to it? And then when you're networking, you have a different call to action.
It's a good question. It depends on how I'm interacting with the person. If I'm interacting with the person already on Facebook, like for example, if they interact with a Facebook ad or they message me on Facebook or they come to my business Facebook page, I'm going to invite them immediately to my Facebook group because we're already on Facebook.
Yeah.
So it feels like, hey, you like this one little thing I did on Facebook? Try this other little thing I did on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
If I meet someone in person and I'm talking to them, I might do something different. Like, to be fair, my first offer when I talk to someone is not book a photo shoot.
Okay. Yeah.
That to me is a little bit like asking someone to marry me on a first date
Yeah.
because boudoir, my business typically requires like a little bit more warming up. Like I'm not just selling a t-shirt here, right? Like I'm selling like you got to come to my studio, you got to like buy some lingerie, you got to like strip down in front of a camera. Like there's like a lot of steps there. So
Yeah.
my first call to action is usually a free phone call.
Okay.
Hey, I'd love to chat with you and just tell you about what I do. Here's how to get a free phone call. The Facebook group might be even before a free phone call because the Facebook group is like, hey, just come see what I'm all about. No risk, just come see if you like it, right? So the Facebook group shows up in my email signature. It shows up in my early emails. If you fill out a form and give me your name and email address, one of those very early emails you're going to get from me is like, "Hey, you want to see what this is about? Join this Facebook group. There's
Okay.
10,000 local women here. We'd love to have you. It's free. Join anytime. We'd love to have you. Also send it to your friends.
Yeah.
So that comes very early in the process because it's very low risk, right? Like if you join a Facebook group and you don't like it, just
Good.
unjoin the group, like no big deal, right? It
Yeah.
feels like, very low impact kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Um, I do also make a big deal if you come to my studio and you're not already in my Facebook group. When I'm talking to you at the studio, I encourage you to join the group because the people who have already come to my studio for a photo shoot, when they join the group, they're like the best group members because they're like free ambassadors for me for the experience
Okay.
because they've already come in and had a good experience.
Yeah. Okay, perfect, perfect. So I like that because you're still incorporating the Facebook community even to people you've met in person. And I like how you transition and bring it in there, even though the focus is get to know me first. Let's do this phone call. But oh, by the way, you can also get to know me this way and meet other people. So that is awesome. And I feel
Yeah.
like go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt. I
No, just
do offer some stuff that's in the Facebook group only. So I
okay. Right.
do,
So you know the
so
Facebook
I'll
stuff.
email and I'll say, "Hey, this is available only in the Facebook group." For example, an interview with a local business owner. I interviewed a local, reality TV star recently when they're filming a reality show in Chicago, and I got to interview her, right? You wanna see the interview? Join my group, that's the only place you can see it, right? So I provide incentives for
Yeah.
people who I might be meeting in person or they're only on my email list to also join the group for exclusive content in the group.
Okay, that's nice. I like that. That gives me more encouragement to come into the community. And I like the idea that the community is not just a selling opportunity for you. It's really like after the sale is done, continuing that relationship and building those ambassadors. That is awesome. Another thing you mentioned when we first talk about is automations and how they've really been a game changer for you. So can you walk me through how, if anything we've talked about already, there's automations that you used and how some of the systems you've put into place have helped you just run your business more smoothly and efficiently?
So when I opened my business, I didn't know what I was doing at all, right? Like this was my first time being a business owner. I opened the studio like on a hope and a prayer. I didn't know what I was doing. So when I first opened my business, if you sent me an email or you gave me an email address, I would write back to you, like literally like, "Dear Christina, thank you so much for being in touch." Like I would type out a response to you. Okay. If you had a photo shoot coming up, I'd be like, "I'm so excited." This is me typing on my computer if you can't see me. "I'm so excited to see you for your photo shoot tomorrow. Don't forget to bring these things." Like, and at first that worked okay. I could kind of keep on top of it, right? But as my business grew, it was like, this is insane. I cannot email all these people back. There's got to be a better way. And of course there is a better way. I learned about CRMs, client, what does a CRM stand for? Client something management.
Relationship.
Client relationship management. Thank you.
Yep.
CRMs. I've always called a CRM. There, right. So I got on a CRM, right? This is key. If you're a new business owner and you don't have a CRM, you got to get on a CRM. So the CRM, the client relationship management, someone comes into my orbit by giving me their email address. They either fill out a form on my website, they download one of my free ebooks that I have on my website, they give me their email address, the CRM will automatically start sending them emails and texts, which is really important. And it's not just like an email that's like, "Buy a shoot, buy a shoot, buy a shoot, buy a shoot," right? These are nurture emails that help them get to know me, like me, and trust me. So the first email they get has like a little intro video that's like, "Hey, I'm Liz. Maybe you've thought about boudoir. Maybe it's on your bucket list. Here's what it's about, little video of the studio. Here's how you can join my VIP group to get to know more. And if you want to book a free consult, no strings attached, here's the button," right? So those go out automatically while I'm sleeping. I don't have to think about it. And of course, also confirmation emails when they book a photo shoot. "Hey, your shoot's tomorrow. Here's where to park." And I have post photo shoot automations as well. "Thanks for coming in. We loved having you. Would you be willing to write a review? Thanks for coming in. It was so great to meet you. Do you have a friend that needs this also? Here's a discount for her," right? So it starts from the moment they get in touch with us. Then if they don't book, they just keep getting nurture emails for a real long time. If they do book, then they get, "Welcome to the studio. We're so excited for you to come. And thank you for coming in," post photo shoot emails. This has been an absolute game changer for my studio. It's just, you can't run a business without it.
I've learned that also, and I think it's the trick is finding the right CRM that meets your needs and does everything you want it to do, but in a authentic way. As one of the things that I was worried about is striking that balance between creating like real human connection and interactions, but still being able to automate it that. So have you found that right balance between the making sure that you're still human, but not having to push all the buttons yourself?
I mean, my business is so what I call high touch, right? It's white glove. When you come to my studio, it's just you and me at the studio for a very intimate experience. So I want to make sure that every piece of my business is very human. Again, I'm not selling t-shirt or tennis shoes where it's just extremely transactional, right? I'm selling a product where people come in and do something super out of their comfort zone. So every piece of my business needs to reflect that high touch white glove service that I offer.
Yeah.
So I look at automations as a way for me to be more human, not less. Here's why. The automations take away the stuff that I don't need to be human for and allow me to be more present as the human. So, for example, no one needs a human to type out, "Your photo shoot is tomorrow at 9 a.m. We are looking forward to seeing you." Everyone is fine with getting that from a robot, right?
Yeah.
What they're not fine with getting from a robot is, "Hey, tell me what in your life is going on right now that is making you feel like a boudoir photo shoot is the right thing. Why is this the right way to celebrate your 40th wedding anniversary or your 40th birthday or your divorce as opposed to something else? Tell me
Yeah.
your story." So I use automations to get people on the phone with me. I use automations to get people into the studio so that I can meet them and be with them one on one, right? So for me, I never photograph anyone unless I've talked to them on the phone first. That is just part of my business model. Again, if you're going to take pictures with me in your underwear or nude photos, like we need to have a phone call first, right? So that one on one. So I use the automations to get people on the phone to talk with me as a human. And of course, the automations, yes, they are automated emails and texts, but I try to infuse them with my personality, what I care about. So that's videos of me talking in my studio. That's links to pictures of me with real women who've come into the studio. They're not just canned emails. It's really, if you did talk to me, it's what you would hear me say. They just go out automatically on a schedule based on when you've given me
Yeah.
your email address.
And I think too, there's some CRMs that will allow you, let's say there's 8 emails in your sequence from beginning to end. Some of those that you want, some can be those systemated emails that are just very like just reminder based. But then those personal ones where you want to ask personalized questions, get to know them better. Maybe that's not like the email isn't necessarily built all the way, but it's a trigger that reminds you like, hey, because that's one of the things that I slip on is remembering each person and where they are on the step to get them to the end. And so sometimes that's that reminder to say, hey, it's time to send that personal email and here's the draft. And then I go in and fill in the gaps of, this is actually Susie Q, and this is who I'm talking to. So let me ask them specific questions. But at least that part was automated to remind me because that's where I need automations because I'll forget all the steps and not do them.
Yeah, the automation, the CRM is not just sending stuff to your clients, it's also sending stuff to you as the
Yeah.
business owner.
Yeah.
Reminder, this person has not signed their contract. Hey, reminder, it's been 48 hours and you haven't heard back from this person. You can set all that up in a good CRM. And that's exactly right. It's helping you as the human to stay in touch in a human way. But I mean, we all live our lives now on screens, right? So reaching through a screen to a person as a human, I mean, it's just so important that they know there's a human behind those emails. One thing that I do in some of my emails and texts is I actually put this line, which I love. Hit reply to this email. I would love to hear from you. I read every email that I get. Hey, if you text me back at this number, I am a human on the other end and you can talk to me. I'm not just a robot here. So that people know how they can get in touch with a real human. And I have had many people in the studio come and say, I didn't know that if I replied to your emails that a human would answer, but you did. And I said, yeah, there's a human. So remind people you can get in touch with me in this way and I will respond. I am a human. Tell them that in your emails and your automations.
Yeah, it's like it's frustrating that we have to do that because when it first started, like email was all human, and then these bots took over, and it kind of was like a little discouraging because yeah, you just want that human, especially when it's something that's so personalized. You want to be able to know that a human is engaging and answering their questions and preparing them for that experience. So that's
When you tell them that, so like think about all the emails you get. Like if you got an email from Macy's or The Gap or something, you know you can't reply to that email, right?
yeah,
And people don't realize that as a small business that you're different, right? Like I think a lot of times they're like, oh, I just get all these emails from businesses and they're all just no reply. Like, tell people, no, I'm actually a small business owner. If you reply to this email, I, Liz, the business owner, I will see this and I will respond to you. When you explicitly tell people that, it will really increase your response rate. I have found that that's just like a really helpful line. Like, I am a human. I will read this if you do X.
note. I'm putting that down today. Make sure I go through my newsletter and make sure people know because some people do respond, but I'm realizing, yeah, there's probably a lot of people who are assuming this is just
It's just a no
automated.
reply inbox. I mean,
Yeah,
see, here's the thing, before I was a business owner, I didn't know how any of this worked, right?
yeah.
And I mean, big box companies, if you reply to some email from Target or whatever, like there's no human reading that, you know? But you're different. You're a small business owner and people sometimes don't know that and they don't realize it. And so if you just kind of nudge them, it can really help.
I love this. So that kind of transitions, it goes back for a little bit to the beginning and transitions to the next part. So we mentioned earlier, really why you started this particular business, the inspiration you had, and the mission that you're going through for these women to help them really have this experience. that they would never be able to get before. So I would love to make sure and encourage people, other women who are starting their businesses, to find that true mission and be able to articulate it. So any advice that you could give a fellow female entrepreneur who's trying to shift from just being a business owner and becoming a mission-driven leader in her own space? Anything that you could give to her to kind of encourage her?
So there's a reason you started your business. Money, yes, but there's also another reason. You might have a hard time digging deep and finding out what that is, but there's a reason you started the business you're in as opposed to another business, right? So why are you selling your product and not toothbrushes? Why are you selling your product and not tennis shoes? I
Yeah.
don't know, but you know that reason, right? There's a reason why I am taking boudoir photos and not taking baby photos. But someone else is taking baby photos and not boudoir pictures. And that reason is the kernel of your mission, right? So, of course, you're in a business because you want to make money. That's what business is. It's generating profit.
Yeah.
But there is another reason why you're in your specific business. If you don't know what that is, start answering these kinds of questions. What problem am I really solving? Why do I believe people should buy my product? A really helpful exercise is to open up a Google Doc or a piece of paper and just start writing 20 reasons why it is a good idea for someone to buy my product.
Yeah.
And if you can't come up with 20 reasons, you got to be in a different business. There's got to be 20 reasons why your particular product is going to help someone in some way, right?
Yeah.
Beyond just like, well, they need toothpaste. No, they don't just need toothpaste. They need a radiant smile. They need to feel confident about their mouth. And right? Okay, so there's always a deeper reason. People don't just buy products. They buy feelings, they buy experiences, they buy solutions, right? So if you can dig deep into that reason, once you're rooted into that mission, lead with that in everything that you do. So you're not just selling something, you're providing something. You are showing the way, you are giving them a solution. And people will be drawn to your purpose and your mission, not just to your price tag.
Yes.
And that,
I love that.
yeah, I mean, for me, that's really what the difference is between like just a customer and a real community.
Yes, yes. And I think I would add another question to that in terms of like digging in and discovering your why is asking yourself, if you stopped your business or you didn't pursue your business and a year from now you met somebody who really needed the value you could have brought them, how would that make you feel knowing that you're not in the position to help them? Like, how would that feel knowing, oh, I could have had such an impact on this person and made some difference? I think that will help you discover your why.
And listen, we can't solve all the problems in the world at the same time, but you have something special in you. You have something that's driven you to start a business, to solve a problem, right? You have a unique skill set. It might just be the personality, the flair that you bring to your business, right? And no one can be you, right? So
Yeah.
lots of people can sell candles, but only you can sell candles in your way, right? Lots of people can take boudoir photos, but only I can offer the experience that I offer because of who I am, right? So recognize that you as a unique human, you have like unlimited potential to tap into because of just who you are. And you're going to reach people because of you that other business owners can't reach. So know that you have something unique, even if you think like, well, lots of people sell my product or lots of people sell my service. Of course, because there's 7 billion people on this planet, we need lots of business owners, right? And
Yeah.
you are going to offer something really special and unique to the people who you attract to your business.
This has been so fun. All right, so Liz, how can people continue to learn from you, grow in your circle, join your Facebook group if they can, share all the goodies?
Yeah, so I'm at chicagoboudoir.com. Boudoir can be a tricky word to spell, but it's Chicago and then BOUDOIR.com. And if you go on there, there's a link right at the top to my Facebook group. I'd love to have you join. There's also a link that says free stuff, and I've got some free ebooks that you might enjoy about empowerment, feeling confident as a woman, some free printables. So just go there and browse and pick whatever you'd like. But I'd love to meet you and have you join our community.
Awesome, awesome. And thank you so much for your time, your expertise, bringing your wisdom to the community. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
That was an incredible conversation with Liz Hansen. I love how she refined what it means to run a photography business centering around empowerment, community, and smart, sustainable growth. If you want to learn more about Liz and the transformative work she's doing, be sure to visit her website at chicagoboudoir.com. Let me say it again, chicago/boudoir.com. And if you're curious about her VIP community or want to taste her And if you're curious about her VIP community or want a taste of her brilliance, grab a free ebook at chicago/boudoir.com/free. We'll drop the links in the show notes, so don't worry about if I'm doing it right. And it will also include her Facebook and her Instagram pages, so you can access her there. As always, the Empower Her program is here for you. I would love for you to be a part of the growing community of bold and empowered female entrepreneurs who are improving their marketing strategies every single month there. So check out theempowerherap.com to learn more about this community. We have membership rates starting at free and beyond, so there's a place for everybody. And if you found this episode helpful, please don't forget to subscribe, share it with a fellow entrepreneur, and leave a review. Every little bit helps us spread the word even further. And remember, whether you're building a business from your basement or scaling a six-figure brand, you deserve to show up fully, confidently, and strategically. So keep going, CEO. I'll see you next time.